I'm Sarah Smith. I'm a horticulturalist here at Rogers Gardens, and I want to talk to you all about how fall here in Southern California is really one of the best times for planting. I think a lot of people, especially transplants from other areas, don't really understand that fall is the ultimate time to get your garden started and going. If you wait to spring, you've kind of waited too long. And that's the beauty of gardening here, is that when you get to spring, you can step back, relax, enjoy all the hard work that you did. It really is a gardening year-round state here, especially here in Southern California. And we also do a really great sale here at Rogers Gardens every fall too. That way you can come in and stock up on all the things you need to kind of fill in, plug in the holes that you have for any kind of perennial stuff, get things well established. So springtime is a time to enjoy and not a time to labor super hard in the garden. One of the first things I want to talk to you about is bulbs and seeds. This is the time to start shopping so you have the best selection. It's really nice here because what's happening is the ground is cooling down a little bit. The days are getting a little bit shorter, and this is a time to get the bulbs in the ground. So when they start coming up, they're more stocky, they're thicker, and they're a little bit shorter because of how the weather is. So by the time we hit spring and it starts warming up, they're not going to be floppy and loose and skinny. They're going to be nice and hardy and established. So the things you want to start looking for is your hyacinths, all of your daffodils, all of your tulips. Especially with your tulips, you've got to put them in a refrigerator to give them that chill time, and if you wait too long, they're not going to flower. And ranunculus. These are all my favorite kind of spring bulbs, but we have other things, snowdrops, all the amaryllis are coming out right now. So there is a huge selection of bulbs, and then get them in the ground around November for most of them. Make sure you check those chill times for all of your tulips as well. The other thing that you want to also start looking for is all of your kind of wildflower seeds, and especially all your California native seeds. So all the gorgeous things like the California native poppies and just the mixed seeds will carry really big containers as well. You want to start sprinkling these out now, really kind of in November, and then that way any kind of winter rain that we're getting will help them all get established and start growing, and then when we hit the spring, they're full going. These are really great cheap ways to do an inexpensive fill on an area. We even carry some for shade. So a lot of people will have big areas and they want to get it filled with flowers, and that can get kind of pricey. This is great to just sprinkle around, sprinkle it in between your perennial plants, let those come up. They're great for foraging bouquets as well. It's really kind of nice to have something that looks a little bit more natural, not so contrived when you're sprinkling these down. It's going to be sort of survival of the fittest, and you're going to have a beautiful garden that's going to attract all kinds of pollinators and give you stuff for cutting too. Next, let's talk veggie planting. Actually, I think fall is one of my favorite times for veggie planting. I love my winter garden, partially because it's so pretty. Tomatoes are great. They're really showy. They're really flashy. Your zucchinis, peppers, all those kind of things are really fantastic. However, what does your garden look like at the end of summer? It's kind of a big wild mishmash of craziness, right? I really like my fall plantings into wintertime because they're just so pretty and tidy looking. Plus cruciferous vegetables. I love all of those, and that's what you're going to really start going for. Things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kales. Think leafy vegetables. Think cold crisper kind of vegetables. Also leeks, those are some of my favorites. So here is a collection of all the great things to get into the garden right now. I love planting leeks. They're such a kind of like overlooked plant, but they're really beautiful. They don't take up a lot of space, and leek soup and all those kind of things. Once you start planting these things, you really start finding you have more of appreciation for them than you ever really did before. You'll be taking out all your green beans now and putting in all your sugar snap and snow peas. They're really, really pretty too. So that way you have something to go up that trellis that you maybe had green beans or all of your cucumbers on, and lettuces. All the lettuces, and getting them in 6-packs is really a great deal because it's a lot less expensive, and you can get all kinds of really fun mixes. And you know it's safe, doesn't have all the pesticides, you're growing it hopefully organically at home, so you can feel really good and confident about the things that you're preparing and putting on your table at home. Now let's talk about all of the annual color stuff. This is a really great time for shopping for this kind of stuff too. We're talking about things like pansies, violas, foxgloves, all of the poppies, the cute little billis and the alyssum. This is nice now because you can get this stuff in 6-packs, so it's a lot less expensive and you get more variety, and you can get a lot more area covered when you start them smaller like this. Your garden will be pretty even in the winter time, and by the time spring comes, it's all gonna explode and get big and full and billowy and look established instead of looking freshly planted in the spring. And last, let's talk about getting all those perennials in your garden now. So if you have an area you're looking to redo, this is the perfect time to do it. And at Rogers, we always have really good sales in the fall for all the perennial stuff. So it's a great time to walk out into the garden, take kind of a stock of what you have going on, think about what it looked like in the springtime. Do you need to redo an area? You're gonna get them established with all the good winter rain and stuff that we're gonna get, so that way the roots are really starting to grow, and by the time spring comes around, the plant's nice and established, and then it can go into its kind of full glory. Those are the things you want to think about here in Southern California. Fall is kind of like our second spring in a weird way, and you always want to take advantage of the good sale that we have here at Rogers for the perennial plants. So we're talking about things like roses, we're talking about putting in new hedges, we're talking about pretty perennial plants with flowers, garas, the salvias, all the lavenders and stuff. Really think about fall as your spring. It is very different than anywhere else in the United States. And again, I always really can tell when someone comes in and they're not from here, because you're thinking about freezes, you're thinking about the ground having a lot of chill time, and we just don't have that here. So if you keep in mind that fall is for planting, you're gonna be super successful. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully you're subscribed to the YouTube page. We have all kinds of great videos there. Anything you have a question on. If you do want to grow tulips, how long do you need to chill them? If you have roses, when do you cut them back? There is a video for practically everything. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and go to the website and sign up for our emailer. I'm Sarah. Thanks so much for watching. Be well, be safe, and happy gardening.